That's it. I'm going fishing.
Hey, it's Janelle Waz, and welcome back to another episode of Waz Reviews. There's nothing like relaxing with a fishing pole, the calming sounds of nature, and soft melodies playing in the background. All on a PlayStation for the realest fishing experience without a wandering through the woods getting sweaty and muddy. This is real fishing. Now previously on Waz Reviews, I've talked about the PS2 game River King: A Wonderful Journey, which was made by Marvelous Interactive and published by Natsume in North America, the same companies that brought us the Harvest Moon series. It was basically a fishing RPG where you build up your fishing skills and help people in the neighboring villages with fish-related problems. But strangely enough, River King was not the only fishing series to come out of Marvelous or Natsume. In 1997, when Marvelous was still called Victor Interactive, Real Fishing was released in North America for the original PlayStation. Known as Fish Eyes in Japan, Real Fishing takes you to FMV ponds and lakes where you simply fish.
Na 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 fishing. Na 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 fishing.
I mean, fishing games had a bit of a moment in the 90s and 2000s, so there has to be something to it, right? Well, grab your relaxing beverage of choice, sit back, relax, and reel in the catch of the day with your PS1 and Real Fishing.
I miss the peace of fishing.
But before I go further, thanks for checking out my video. Make sure you like and subscribe for more of my Star Trek, video game, and other miscellaneous content. Keep those hailing frequencies open on the other social media sites, and a big thank you to my channel members for supporting the channel. If you'd like to buy me a cup of tea and support my work, consider joining up on my channel. Be great to have you aboard. Alright, let's start fishing for real. Well, this is a little unsettling.
Welcome.
Ah! Okay, a little immersion and some lovely 90s graphics, I can dig it. So after signing the guest book, I guess, we head into the Aquaroom with a lovely Japanese aesthetic that I also quite dig. The soothing disembodied voice explains that the Aquaroom is for fishers to rest and talk in between fishing sessions, and explains how to start fishing. Namely, select a fishing spot from the album, and the spots get more challenging as you play through the game.
There's a lot to learn. Good luck.
Yeah, I hope you weren't expecting a super deep plot to this game. And just like that, we're plopped into our first location, the brook, where plenty of trout live. No tutorial, no explanation of the different rods or lures.
No kippers, no English herringbone tweeds, no meat pies.
Heck, not even instructions on how to fish. Well, okay, but not all might be lost. After all, I have played River King before, so... Damn it! Yeah, you're probably supposed to read up on the gameplay mechanics in the manual. Heck, it even tells you what you're supposed to do in each of the stages. It's very old school in that respect, but man, I really could have used a tutorial. Well, I guess it's up to me to teach you all how to fish. Even though the few times I went fishing in real life, I never actually caught anything. But River King still counts, right? After all, I fished up this thing. Look, it's even bigger than me. First of all, you'll need the right equipment before you cast out, something that the game will remind you of if you try casting out before you're ready. Your select tackle screen is where you pick your equipment and type of fishing you want to try. Bait fishing, lure fishing, and fly fishing. Lure and fly fishing only requires you to select a lure or a fly, but bait fishing requires a floater, a hook, and of course, bait.
And it all starts with a hand-dug American worm.
There are also different kinds of rods, but to be honest, I didn't really notice much of a difference between them other than how far you can cast your line. Noodling? And with that, we're ready to cast out.
Now we play the waiting game.
Once you have a fish interested, the game cuts to an underwater shot where you have to jiggle the line to get the fish to take the bait and then start reeling it in. The whole process takes a little bit of nuance to successfully reel in a fish, which is the challenge of the game. Reel the line in while the fish is frantically swimming away, and it'll snap and you lose your lure, fly, or even fish hook. But once it gets tired, you reel that bad boy in. and on the process repeats until...
And then when you're reeling it in, everything else falls away.
Now, does the choice of bait, fly, lure, or even hook and bobber really make that much of a difference? Not really. Sure, some lures and flies will automatically hook the fish for you, so you can completely bypass getting the fish to bite, but other than that, I found that the fish will go for any of the baits the stage gives you. I suppose it takes some of the challenge out of the game, but considering that the alternative is having multiple wiki pages up to figure out which is the best lure for a fish, I'm not complaining. Now, reel fishing is mainly catch and release.
All right there, redhead. Back you go.
No fishies were harmed in the making of this game. Yet! You can choose to release the fish back into the wild, allowing it to tell its buddies about its adventures, or put it in the live well for the fish tanks in the Aquaroom. And speaking of which, let's talk about the Aquaroom. In this nicely furnished but largely motionless room with a gentle melody playing, we have an album, your fishing records, your fishing license, your fish tanks, and a photo of this helpful gentleman.
You're making good progress.
Yes, this grandfatherly figure is a talking photo of the fishing master. He's the one mentoring you, which basically amounts to the 1-point advice at each of the fishing locations. Though admittedly, the translations on these tips could have been a bit better. They're probably more directly translated from the original Japanese than other Natsume games, but some of them I can't help but find endearing. Enjoy catching bluegill with smaller lures. Bluegill are very curious and sensitive to any moving things. They are nuisance, but innocent. While reel fishing is based on catch and release fishing, you have the option to put 2 of your catches in your live well and put them in your fish tanks to take care of them so they lead long and happy Oh, rest in peace that salmon I caught once. The game, or the manual for that matter, absolutely does not make it clear on how you're supposed to keep your fish alive. Don't overfeed it. Okay, got it. And make sure you turn the filter back on. Not sure there was a reason to turn it off, but sure. Seriously? And every time I try to feed multiple fish in the tank, there's always one that has to eat everything, while one of them simply refuses to swim up to the food. I mean, I'm trying to take care of my fish, but they won't let me and they end up dying anyways. Your best chance is to keep 1 fish per tank, even though you're technically allowed 3. But even then, sometimes they just won't help themselves. Thankfully, this is just an extra feature, and you're not penalized if your fish, swim at the fishes. You also have the option to name your fish, so I named my early fish Andy G for Andy Griffith, Opie, and Andy T for Andy Taylor, inspired by the Andy Griffith Show, but, well, the less said about them, the better. On the table is your album, where you can choose a fishing spot, look at your stats, and save the game. The game has 7 fishing spots and 8 different kinds of fish to catch, which admittedly doesn't seem like a lot. The fishing spots range from rushing rivers to still waters and are unlocked by either catching fish of a certain size or a certain number of fish. Each location has a particular fish you can catch, the lake having 2, and only allows you to use certain rods. Fishing gets tougher as you unlock the different fishing spots, and catching fish becomes more nuanced and challenging.
The fishing spots get more and more challenging. The first spot is a beauty.
The first 2 spots, the brook and stream, are very similar, with rushing water and gentle music. And catching trout and char aren't too difficult. Both are good beginner's fish that don't put up too much of a fight once you get the hang of fishing. Once you catch 10 trout and a char that's at least 9.8 inches long, you're tasked with catching 20 bitterlings in the creek. Yeah, they're super small, and honestly, I didn't think they were really worth keeping in the tanks.
Are they biting?
Small fries. Throw them back.
And yeah, catching 20 of these things takes time, not to mention they're easily spooked and will straight up steal your bait. Come on, take the bait. You son of a... Luckily, you have an endless supply of live baits, so this is more annoying than anything else. It's not like lures and flies where if a fish takes them, they're gone. Well, a couple of them will mysteriously reappear in your tackle box, so you're not completely empty-handed for the rest of the game. Well, it's off to the pond to fish up a carp that's at least 11.8 inches long, and you're only allowed to use dough balls, which seem to mysteriously disappear even if the fish doesn't take the bait. I mean, sure, the fishing master claims it dissolved in the water, except that it only seems to happen if a fish takes an interest in it, and not every time you throw the line out. This is also the point in the game where catching fish starts to get finicky. Don't pull on the line at the exact right moment, the fish scatter, or you lose your bait. Next up, it's time to catch dat bass in the lake. And bluegill. Yes, the nuisance but innocent, but they're also a very easy catch. Bass fishing is where line tension becomes important since these fish will flare their gills in a fight, so you have to hold the line taut without reeling it in, or it'll snap. This especially becomes important at the beaver dam where you fish for cutthroat trout. And are they cutthroat? They put up one hell of a fight. They'll even straight up bail on the fight if it's going on too long.
He'll be back.
Even getting them to take your bait can be a bit of a challenge. Either you're moving it too much or you pull on it at the wrong time and scare them. Alright, that's 6 fishing spots, but what about that 7th final stage? Well, now's a good time to talk about the fishing license. Your fishing license is this weird stone thing. How do you carry that in your wallet? As you complete the requirements for each stage, you'll get spheres on your fishing license. Fill the spheres up and you'll get an upgraded license in a different color. Orange to start, followed by red, and finally pink. The final stage, the waterfall, is accessed once you earn 7 of the 8 spheres on the red license, which you can complete in any order, with the final sphere being earned when you catch a single salmon.
Salmon's the opposite of tuna, because salmon swim against the current, and the tuna swim with it.
But holy crap is it difficult! I swear, getting the damn things to take the bait is more trouble than it should be. Heck, even if you hook one or use the fly that automatically hooks the fish, you still stand a pretty good chance of the fish letting go or straight up snapping the line. Even following the basic strategies you've used in the previous stages is a crapshoot. I found that the best method for me was to pull on the line without reeling it in when it starts to slow down because I swear they constantly fake you out and end up breaking your line. But eventually, you land that glorious salmon.
Well done. You've made excellent progress and are now a great fisherman. Since I have nothing left to teach you, from now on you're on your own.
Wait! He's retiring? I barely survived that catch!
So that's it after 20 years. So long, good luck.
Good luck.
Well, at least I have this fish to look at. And this photo.
Look at this photograph.
There's one more thing you can achieve here. It's time for me to find someone to take my place as the fishing master.
Yeah, I'm kinda done. You can continue to fish since now you've completed the red license and can now work on the pink one to become the new fishing master. But it involves you getting the max size of all the fish, and to be honest, I was ready to move on. Besides, I think all you get is a message from the now retired fishing master about how you're the new master. I mean, if there was a special video, maybe I would go for it, but yeah, not really worth it right now. Maybe later. And that was Reel Fishing. Sure, it's not a deep game, it's not super exciting, it's just fishing, and that's about it. But nevertheless, it was fun in its simplicity, and it's the perfect game to relax to. I honestly needed a chill game for a few weeks, and this was just the thing I needed. The sounds of nature, the gentle melodies, no time constraints, just casting a line out and waiting for that fish. And sure, this game isn't without its flaws. The limited number of fishing spots and fish, your fishing equipment doesn't make much of a difference, not to mention keeping your fish from dying. But to be honest, they never interfered with my enjoyment of the game. I guess you could say I had a real good time. So what about you? Have you played Reel Fishing? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Have you tried the other games in the series, and what did you think of them? Have you gone reel fishing, and how does it compare to Reel Fishing? And what are some of your favorite fishing games? Please leave comments below and discuss. As always, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Waz Reviews. If you like what you see, why not give my video a like and subscribe to my channel? Tell your friends. Until next time.
Fishing.